Hey everyone, Scoop Scientist here. Today I'm going to be trying to melt some aluminium with my girlfriend. So let's do it. Alright, so a very simple setup for melting aluminium. I've got just a couple of money tins, one smaller, one bigger. We'll cut off the top with the cutters here. And then this will act as the crucible, so all the aluminium will go in there. And this here, we got some charcoal bricks. They all go in there. We light a fire, and with a hole on the side of this one, we get a hairdryer which blows the air into it, creating a lot of heat. It's enough to melt aluminium, and then old tin here that we can pour the aluminium into there. But first we've got to cut off the tops of these. So the plan is going to be to attempt to light the fire for this with a magnifying glass. I have done it before on my off the grid, I think episode, I called it 0.5. Or unless that was episode 1 and 0.5 was me attempting to light it with sticks, but I forget. Either way, I'm going to be doing this again. Alright, looks like sun's come out again. I got some dry grass here, magnifying glass. Hopefully this is dry enough and the sun will last long enough for me to get this going. Let's give it a shot. You can come close enough if you want. So we accidentally missed like all of the lighting of the magnifying glass, but
I did.
But the fire's now lit. And we're just heating it up now with these bricks here, charcoal bricks. To get nice and hot, then we'll put this in and start melting some aluminium. Yeah. It's getting real nice and warm in there now. I want to try to make a nice kind of platform almost out of the bricks for the crucible there to sit on. So our primary form of aluminium is foil. We do have one can though.
Yeah.
Alright, so you want to look for the bottom of this going red, which it is. That means it should be hot enough. So we chuck in a bit of foil. There you go.
You think it's a lot of foil until it starts to melt and you realize it was just like, it's only going to give you like a really little bit.
Great. An explosion.
What are you doing?
I'm heating up the mold just in case there's any moisture in there. It could cause an explosion. Yeah. Come on, there we go. That's it. Okay, the fire you saw there was still more of the like the non-stick coating on most pans just burning off. But look at that.
And then what happens if you tamper with it after you've poured it?
As in, like, move it around. Like, nothing really, but it just can. I just prefer the ingots when they're what they look like when they were naturally poured, not like kind of sloshed around afterwards. Because you can get like I have one that was like that. They got tampered with, and it's kind of got like this ugly top now. It's like crooked and wonky, and then has this thing coming up. This really thin wall coming up there. That was when it kind of like got spilled forwards a bit.
Insert picture here.
Probably don't have a picture.
Yeah,
I don't know where it is, but yeah, that wasn't very pleasant. So leaving them after the pour is always better, in my opinion, of course.
And why isn't it perfectly silver? What are the impurities there?
Impurities, so on every aluminium can there's always plastic on the inside and outside, the label obviously, and on most of these there's always some like thin plastic coating. Often if you get the cheapest foil, that's the foil that doesn't have any plastic coating. This was the cheapest foil, but I still think it had some plastic on it. That's why I've got all this stuff around here. It's all this slag left over. Like, there's still some aluminium metal in there, but you know, the black bits, that was from charcoal that fell in there, and some burnt off plastic. I try to always scrape off bits before a pour. But while we wait for this to cool down, I'll just explain a few dangers of melting aluminium.
So, what are the dangers of melting aluminium?
Well, so yeah, some of the dangers of melting aluminium are it's hot. For one thing, aluminium melts at 660.3 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit is here for Americans.
Alright.
And so, like for instance, if you saw when we put the can in the crucible, the whole thing kind of jumped a little. That was a small steam explosion. The reason why it's a steam explosion is because when water is heated up that quickly, it expands 10,000 times the original volume of what it was, like instantly, and that's why it's so fast. So you saw the whole kind of thing jump, and that caused a charcoal brick to fall in the mixture there. So there are dangers like that. That was probably a minor steam explosion there, so we were okay there. And even the minor one made the whole thing jump, which was scary. And like after you pour it, because it's so hot, even if it cools down like 400 degrees, that's still well over double the boiling point of water, which is really hot. So again, yeah, it's really hot. And make sure you've got, like, I had this jacket, I zipped it up. This can protect me a little more. You can see here, got a leather apron there. We're wearing gloves, safety glasses. Often a face shield is better.
Gloves.
And so this is, as it's like pretty easy to perform, you just got to make sure you know the dangers, know what you're doing if you're going to go do it yourself. If you're going to do it at home, because if some of the molten aluminium got on you, you know, it's burning a hole straight through you.
You said this was one of the hottest you've gotten the fire and the tin going. Why do you think that is?
I built up a wall of charcoal bricks around the crucible and really cranked up the airflow, so it was blowing all the way through. You saw the flames coming out the top, so the flames were just surrounding the whole crucible. Like often when these things burn, they turn into like a dust and they start piling up at the bottom, blocking up the hole. But this time I don't know if it's just because I didn't have it burning for as long, but they didn't tend to block up the hole, and so the airflow kept really true the whole way through. And
so the blockage is one of the factors that could stop your aluminium melting from working or cut the process short.
Yeah, pretty much. I've had plenty of it cut short. You can tell when it's cooling down because the aluminium turns from a liquid to like a slushy. And if you can't heat it up back quickly immediately, then you've pretty much lost that batch there.
And what happens if you hold the tin with the crucible with the melted aluminium out of the fire for too long? Like, why don't you hesitate while pouring?
Because this is a crude setup. We can't get it super hot. So if it was like a propane with plaster of Paris, like this proper furnace, then we could heat it up really hot. But because it's just crude, it's open to the air. It's not that far above the melting point, and so when you take it out, it can cool down below that point really quickly and solidify before you can pour. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below.
How long will it take to cool the aluminium in the mold so it's cold enough that it's like solid, we can take it out and it's fine?
Just a few minutes normally before you can quench it with some water. It's been sitting here for long enough, so it's well and truly solid, but it's probably still maybe a bit hot, so we'll just get some water on it before. But yeah, just a few minutes really. You can kind of tap the mold with, like, I don't know what you got. I've got either a ruler or this thing. You can tap with that, just make sure it's not kind of moving still, like liquidy, but otherwise, yeah, not too long.
You kicked it before and it kind of detached from the side, I saw.
Well, we should quench it with some water, yeah?
Yes, and then shall we have a look at it?
Yeah. Okay, so it has been about 10 minutes. I gave this a feel just before. It's still slightly warm. I'd probably guess, maybe about 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so you can see the like black lines there. I think that's charcoal. Flip it around. Yeah, and those lumps on the top I think is like plastic impurities and whatnot, but otherwise it's a pretty nice ingot.
Yeah. One day we'll melt enough aluminium that it actually makes a little disc.
A full disc.
Yeah.
So that just about does it. That is a crude backyard aluminium smelter there. We got one little ingot, which is pretty good. Anyway, it's good to be back. I don't plan on having as big of a gap between this video and the next one as I did for my last one. But anyway, until then, we'll see you next time.